I've been collecting whiskey bottles for over 5 years. Bit mental, right? But it has all been leading to this point. The ultimate whiskey recycled review! Hello and welcome to the Whiskey Trials. I'm going to break some world records in the recycled review game. Yep, there we go. 13 bags of empties, collected over around 5 years. And yeah, it's time. It's time to get rid of these empties and, you know, make some room in my dad's garage. Sorry, Dad. This is going to be the ultimate recycled review. I think it's probably going to be a world record. I've got 13 bags. I've been saving bottles for over 5 years. So they're in no particular order. I've just got to dive into these bags and let's see where we get to. Okay, first bag I can see. There's a lot of these babies in it. The Glen Moray Elgin Classic Sherry Cask finish. A standard staple, standard filler. It went through a little phase of kind of getting a bit sulphury and a bit weird, but normally having one of these on the shelf is just a nice easy sipper. Same. 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 Another Glen Moray. Small batch UK exclusive. This was the cider cask. Doubt you'll be able to get this anymore. You might see it on an auction come up. If you do, is it worth it? I'm gonna say no on this one. It's 46.3. Maybe if it was cask strength it would have been better, but for me this one was a little bit weak. It had a kind of smell of apples, but the taste wasn't quite there. There's the good old Elgin Classic Sherry cask finish again. Now this one, Glen Moray again, Elgin Classic, the Cabernet cask finish. I don't really remember much about this one, apart from I don't really see it that often, so I quite enjoyed this one. Hiya, how you doing? Another sherry cask, whew, popular one. Another small batch UK exclusive, 46.3 again. This was the rum agricole, but I think this one was better than the cider cask, but still like a little bit lackluster, you know, it kind of, I don't know, it doesn't give me too much information here in terms of like how long it was kept in the cask or whatever, but yeah, I think for me, maybe a bit longer and would have been a bit better. So yeah, I guess the small batch UK exclusive Glen Moray's, I mean, if you could pick it up for cheap enough, then maybe, but for me, yeah, not quite worth it. Another filler, one that you will see in pretty much every supermarket, the Tam na Bhfuiln. This is the red wine cask edition. I'll have quite a few bottles of this, I'm sure, because this was my favourite, and I was picking it up for a while, like 18, 19, 20 pounds, and it's such a great summer dram, such a great sharing bottle, so cheap, you know, take it round to barbecues, everybody gets a dram. Lovely. And here we go. So I did kind of put them in some kind of order. Oh, that's a big one. That's the Sherry Cask edition. Again, pretty decent, much like the Glen Moray. You know, kind of light sherry, down at 40%, so a nice easy sipper drinker. So when you're not sure what you want and you're just starting the evening, sometimes that is a good option. Again, red wine cask. That's the first bag down already. Is this a more interesting bag? Glen Moray, again, Chardonnay cask. So you can see I've tried quite a lot of the Glen Moray Elgin Classics. The Chardonnay cask as well. Don't really see this too often. I think that this one was quite a nice one actually. I think this was probably better than the cider and the rum cask ones, despite being only at 40%. So give that one a try. What's this? Singleton, 12 years old. Now Singleton for me is kind of like, it's a bit hit or miss. So the 12, I think I did a video on this. I think the 12 kind of falls short for me a little bit in terms of compared to its blue covered non-age statement sibling, which may well be in this bag. But yeah, hit or miss for me. I'm not sure. I've not had one for a while, so I might need to revisit that. Dalwhinnie 15. Now, if you've not had one of these, I can definitely recommend this. It is one of the first drams I tried, and for a 15, it's very, very affordable. It's very light, floral, very delicate flavours, and very nice summer dram as well. And yeah, I'd buy that again. Oh, God, we're getting into some, like, seriously, just going through like some, you know, fairly easy drinking stuff, and then we get to Ballechin. Ballechin, 11 years Bordeaux cask matured. I mean, it's Ballechin, it's at 60.2%. I remember this kind of just being amazing and just going, why is it in such a small bottle? So yeah, any Balechins, very much, is a good Ballechin. Oh, Glenkeith Distillery Edition. Don't waste your time. This is the Co-op own. Yeah, so single malt Scotch whisky, 12-year-old, selected by the Co-op. So you'll probably see this in most Co-ops. It's probably the cheapest dram single malt on the shelf, but I wouldn't bother. Last time I had it, rubbish. Again, Glen Moray. What's this? Oh, this is a 12-year-old. So yeah, I've gone through the business with Glen Moray. I've explored them because, you know what, I love Glen Moray. Why? Because they're accessible. They don't overprice, and you know, they put out good stuff for a reasonable price, which makes you want to move up the ranks and spend that little bit more. And that's what I think is good in a distillery, and I really respect Glen Moray for doing that. 12-year-old, yeah, it was good. Definitely not the best 12-year-old I've had, but in general terms, really good. Would like to see them boost it from 40, maybe even just to 43, but 46 might be a real game changer. Dalwhinnie 15 again. Okay, Aberlour 12-year-old. Double cask matured. Which ones? In sherry oak. So American oak, sherry oak. 40%. That's kind of, you know, Aberlour to a T, right? They're six ball hairs away from being good all the time. If they just made it 46, they'd be really good. But Aberlour is a really nice, easy drinker. The sherry casks are good. I've not really had a bad one per se. You know, it's fairly standard whiskey, but again, good starting off dram, I suppose, or maybe a finishing off dram when you want something lighter and you've done your cask strength thing for the evening. And a Glengarry Founders Reserve. This used to be one of my favourite whiskies, and I'll tell you why. Because, well, it was affordable, and it was at 48%. So you're getting some more bang for your buck. You could experiment with water a little bit more, and this was kind of one of the more stronger whiskies. When I first started out, this was like one of the strongest whiskies I'd had. I was like, wow, 48%, and now, you know, we're all drinking 60 odd %, which is crazy. But yeah, I've revisited this a couple of times, and I've not enjoyed it as much as I used to. But I would still recommend this, especially if you're starting out your journey and you're looking for like a slightly stronger dram. It does have, Glengarry does have a sort of slightly rough and ready feel to it, I think. But yeah, you might like that, and obviously, again, you can experiment with water. It's 48%, right? And another Tamnaville red wine cask. Lovely. And that's it. That's another bag down. Aha. Probably one of the only Macallans that you'll see today in this bag. And unlike Glen Moray, Macallan do not do what they do. They do not invite you to spend more money, I don't think, because this Macallan Gold double cask was absolutely rubbish. I've had way better whiskies. I think almost all the whiskies I've had have been better than this. It was so lackluster. It was just lacking in every single department, and it did not make me want to spend any more on Macallan, and so I haven't. Whereas Glen Moray, as you can see, there's loads of bottles. This will probably be, in fact I can guarantee this is the only Macallan in all these 13 bags. So there you go, Macallan. You missed that little trick there. Oh, getting into the good stuff. Glendronach. So, Glendronach Oloroso Sherry Puncheon, 13 years old, normally around my favourite age for a whisky, 56.7%. This was bottled in 2019, cask number 3359 if you're interested. And yeah, I remember this one just being an absolute joy. In fact, the video giveaway that I did with the 27-year-old, which was pretty much the same as this, but it was 27-year-old matured, and I preferred this one. I preferred the 13-year-old, and the reason is that it's when it's been left for 27 years in a sherry cask, especially like Glendronach spirit and the good cask that they use, it just becomes very, very sherried. And if that's what you want, then great. I mean, there is amazing flavours in there, don't get me wrong. But with the 13, you still get a bit of the spiritiness, you still get a bit of the Glendronach kind of spirit character. And I think after like 20 odd years, that, you know, really sort of diminishes. And I really enjoy the kind of spirit, that kind of slightly new make. You still get the flavour from that. But yeah, oh boy, man, if I could get this again. And if you see any kind of 13-year-old Glendronach, especially one that's like purely Oloroso done, then yeah, you're in for a treat. Do not hesitate. The Healing. I did quite a fun review on this one on the beach, and I still like it. There might be some others in there, I don't know. I did tend to just try and keep one of each, apart from obviously all the cheaper ones for some reason. But yeah, 46%, aged 8 years. I quite like the Healing. It's a decent dram. I think if I was going for a entry-level Glendronach, this versus the 12, I think I'd probably go for this now. Yeah, this is the Glendronach bag for sure. Batch 8, the cask strength batches, 61%. Batch 8, I seem to remember they lost their way a little bit, and I wonder if it was batch 8. We'll see how many batches I've got, but yeah, I remember getting like batch 2 and 3 and just absolutely loving it, and then it kind of petered out a little bit. I don't know if it was like around batch 7 or 8, and then the last one that I had, it come back up a little bit, and I was like, that's really good again. So yeah, but still, like in general, really, really top quality stuff. I really like the sort of batches. What's this one? Glendronach cask strength batch 6. Oh, they've got like a really different label on that one. I can guarantee this one was great, 56.1. I remember actually this label being a little bit different from some of the others, and yeah, so a combination of the finest Oloroso and Pedro Jimenez. Had a cask so good. The 12, the contentious Glendronach 12. Do we like it? Is it a bit shit now? That was probably, yeah, I think that was my last video, which was a while ago. But 43%, yeah, not as good as it used to be. The Glendronach 21. The 21's great. 48%. Yeah, I really did enjoy this, but at the time, the 18-year-old was still my favourite. I would have still chosen the 18 over the 21 all the time. I'm not sure if I would now because, do you know what? I can't really say because I've not had an 18 since they sort of changed the recipe, and you know, since they stopped putting the kind of older stuff in it, I stopped buying it. Plus, they hiked up the prices so much that I was just like, yeah, not paying it. So, yeah, good, expensive. Yeah, what else can you say? Another batch 8. Well, it couldn't have been that bad, right? If I bought 2 of them. So, I don't know. Maybe that was a good one. I don't know. Oh, look. Still a tiny wee bit in that. Woo. Still got punch. But yeah, I think there's better ones if that sip was anything to go by. You know, it's probably been in there for quite a while, but yeah, maybe there's better ones. Don't know why I bought 2 of them. Maybe I'd forgotten I'd had this one already. Ah, here it is, the aforementioned 27-year-old. I gave most of this away on a live stream, which was really fun, and I know somebody that's still got a bottle of this. It was really nice, but like I said, I preferred the 13, so I doubt you'll find this because this was like specially selected by the Glendronach Appreciation Society and abbywhisky.com, cask number 5850. If there's any, it was bottled in 2020. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you can find one of these, you're probably going to be paying upwards of like 500 quid or 600 quid. Another healing, good stuff. The 18, how I missed thee, 46%. Just, this is one of the whiskies. Has this one got a, so this was a 2017. Ooh, if only this was full right now. I'll tell you what, so this would be one of the ones where I realised that whiskey for me is probably about 70% smell. I sat with a glass of this in my bed, lying down, and I just stuck it on my chest and I left it there, and I closed my eyes and I just lost myself in smells for at least half an hour before I even took a drink. And I've not really done that with any other whiskey. It was just, I don't know, it was something so magical about what they did with this 18 when they were putting the older stuff in it. And yeah, do not hesitate if you find, I think it's any kind of bottling before 2019, so 2018, 2017, 2016. I think that 2017 might have been the best. I'm trying to remember. There definitely was like a standout year for me. There's slight differences, but so juicy. 12. Oh, cool. A handfill. So this is a handfill. Bottled in 2021, cask type Oloroso, of course, that's what I normally get. 61.7%, cask number 461/2992. So it's distilled in 08 and bottled 21, so that's what 13. So yeah, almost a 13, which is like, looks like it's got a little bit in it. Ooh, this could be good. Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. That is so much better than the other one that I just had a taste of. So the batch 8, yeah, that just like trounces the batch 8. Oh wow. Yeah, do not hesitate if you can find one of them. And yeah, if you're ever in and around Glendronach, go and get a handful, they're well worth it. The 18 again, got to check the date on this one. It's a 2018. Okay, this was a weird one. Glendronach Portwood. I remember this because I've talked about it in previous videos. This was one that you had to drink like immediately. Like you had to finish this in a night, which, you know, ain't too hard for Glendronach, a few friends, there you go. But yeah, this one didn't age well. It didn't age well in the bottle at all, and yeah, it kind of got me thinking, and that's why I did videos on like what happens and why it changes in the air, and you know, dissipation and oxidization and all that stuff. So yeah, that was an interesting bottle, and it did spark some good thoughts for me. But would I buy it again? Nah. There's batch 7. Oh wow, a lot of these have got like a tiny little bit in them. Let's compare batch 7 to batch 8, shall we? Yep, batch 7 is way better. I mean, so much better. 57.9. Yeah, it must have been batch 8 where they lost their way a little bit. God knows why I bought 2 of them. I must have forgotten which one I didn't like. But yeah, batch 7 wins it. 12. Another 18. And it was another 2018. Lovely. That could be the end of the Glendronach bag, but I'm sure there's probably some kicking about. Next! Oh, what have we got here? We have an Arran Distillery Exclusive 2019. Now, that would have been a cracking dram. In fact, I know this is a cracking dram because we bought another 2 bottles of this, I think. I don't know if I've still got them, but yeah, I remember buying this and then going, yeah, I need more of that. So we bought another 2. So it's a bourbon barrel, 2008, distilled 08, bottled on 19. So yeah, 11 years old, 57.7% alcohol. Lovely stuff. Yep. Bone dry. Damn it. Oh, here we go. Same style. Oh no, it's not the same style at all. It is a rum cask, plantation rum cask. It's a 12-year-old, 55.6. I remember this, and I was like, yeah, I prefer the other one, because I think we got them round about the same time. I think Sarah might have bought this one actually. She likes a rum cask. I'm not as much of a fan as rum casks. For me, I prefer like the sherry sweetness. It introduces more complexity, whereas rum's more of a kind of singular sweetness that it introduces. It doesn't. For me, it doesn't introduce the sweet complexities that sherry might. So, yep, I'm going to say if that one came up against the other one, I'm going with the other one. Oh, if only I could get you again. Now, I don't think I ever did a video about this, probably because I didn't want to tell you guys like how much I liked it, because like I wanted to buy it all myself. I am going to put this out there and say that I probably bought like 15 of these at least, over a period of time. I didn't just buy like boxes of them. There's always one here or there, but I just kept on going back to it. It's just, I couldn't not have it on my shelf, and now it's Macallan. But yeah, 2019 limited edition, 50%, and it was just like, I don't know if you've ever had like wild Scottish strawberries. They're tiny, and if you get them just right, they can be kind of sweet, but a little bit worse, and like really deep kind of flavour. It was just like that, and the smell was so good. It was such a great summer dram. I really missed that one. Ow, I hurt my ear. Okay, this is the Arran 10. The new style of bottle, and it's really interesting actually. If you can get an older Arran 10 bottling and one of the newer ones and do a comparison, because I used to buy a lot of the older ones on auction, and I gotta say, I think I prefer the older one. The older one had a bit more of a, maybe a bit more of a funk and floral kind of combination. I seem to remember these ones being a little bit more licoricey, and I do enjoy the licorice note. I really love licorice. But yeah, the old 10 for me. Try it out yourself. Go and try and find an old Arran 10 and compare it with the newer one. Aha! The Arran 10, the older one, just as I say it. So that's what the older ones look like. When was this bottled? I don't know if it's got a wee date stamp on it, so I can tell you what you might be looking for. But yeah, bottled at 46%. Nah, it doesn't have a wee black date on it, which they should. I don't see it anywhere. Anyway, yeah, a fine dram. I love Arran. I love that kind of fruity funk that that you can get with it when you really kind of delve in it. I think if you just kind of sip it and you're just like quick, pass it over your tongue, you just kind of get the nice floral notes. But if you go in a little bit deeper and give it a wee bit of a chew, then you can start getting the funk and the different kind of flavours going on. Top distillery as well. Yeah, definitely recommend going there. Last time I was there, like saw golden eagles swooping at stags and stuff at and deer at the top of the ridge of the hill from the cafe window, and I'm like shouting out the window and everybody's just like just eating away. I'm like, oh my god, look at this, everybody, and nobody listened. Again, you can tell I was on the auctions. And there's another one, a newer one. See, I wonder if anybody can tell me what they think of the sort of the new quarter cask versus the bothy quarter cask. So this is like the old style, and then the new one I think is just called the quarter cask, I think. But I used to really enjoy the bothy, the batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, and then I can't remember when they changed it over to just the quarter cask. But it's still really nice. And I think if you're wondering what kind of Arran to get, that's I don't know if it's cask strength. It's 55.2, so probably not cask. Oh no, it is bottled at cask strength. It is at cask strength. So if you're looking for a cheaper Arran that's at cask strength, then yeah, I can highly recommend the bothy quarter cask. Really good. And if you can pick any of these older ones up at auction, then definitely do it. Yeah. I don't know if Aquavitae gets these kind of issues, like getting stung by wasps and stuff, but I think just with the whiskey on my breath, it was like, try to get it in my mouth. The 18. I actually think I've got the 21 as well. I think I've still got a dram left in that. I've had it for years, and I don't think I've finished it, so I don't think it's going to be in these bags. But the 18, yeah, really cracking dram. When I was in Arran, I just spent so much in the distillery, just like credit card got maxed out. It was so good. Yeah, again, 46, so like not the strongest. I tend to go for the kind of cask strength things these days because it means I can water it down. So I'd probably pick up the bothy over this. Again, bothy's obviously a younger kind of dram, but those who like the kind of slightly woodier flavours as it kind of gets older, then yeah, can't complain with the 18. The Arran small batch, heavily peated. So this is a rum cask finish. My guess is that Sarah probably bought this one as well. I do remember it, and I remember not liking it. The rum and peat did not meld for me at all. It just wasn't working, so I kind of left this one alone. But yeah, could be interesting if you're into rum and peat. It's not often you see that, a rum and peat combo, but it could be a good reason for that as well. It certainly wasn't one for me, but like I'm not a massive rum cask fan anyway. Although I do love my peated. The bag down! Alright, this bag looks like it might be a little bit more boring, but we never know. Yep, Tam na Bhfuillan, Sherry Cask Edition, done that one. Old Particular. Oh wow! Oh man! So, this one, if you guys can see that, is a Jura. So, I got this from the place in Edinburgh that's up the hill, and he said, "Would you like to try something really cool?" So he gave me a nip of this, and I was like, that kind of reminds me of something, and it's really, really good. And he said, well, I'm about to blow your socks off here. It's a Jura. And I remember this being like one of the best whiskies I've ever had at the time. And I was just like, it almost made me really, in fact it does kind of make me really angry thinking about it, because let's face it, Jura's rubbish. The core collection's just pants. Nobody really likes it. Everybody sort of complains about it, especially me. I'm always going on about how like soapy and weird flavouring it is. But this at 54.3, so Douglas Lang, independent bottler, aged 12 years this one, so distilled 2007 and bottled in 2019. Yeah, finished in a PX sherry butt, one of only 268 bottles. Dang, if you can find this, or if you've got one, well, you're very lucky, because this was a great whiskey. Cairo malt rye whiskey. This is what Sarah brought back from Finland. If you see these guys, I've seen this actually getting sold now, the sort of Finnish whiskies. Well worth a try, very, very nice. What have we got here? Miltonduff, age 10, Gordon MacPhail. Gordon MacPhail, independent bottler, one of the biggest. They do some great stuff, and this was a pretty good one from what I remember. There's a wee bit in there. Let's just double check, shall we? Oh yeah, really nice, and a really good summer dram as well. So light, but lots of weird stuff going on there. It's like a crazy ice cream flavour that I can't quite put my finger on. You know, it's like the one that you never try, like pistachio and something weird sauce on it. But yeah, 43%. I don't know if you'd ever get this again because it's an indie bottler, but yeah, Miltonduff Distillery. Always an interesting one. Sometimes I've liked them, sometimes not so much. Tomatin, 18. Oloroso sherry cask finish. Yeah, what can you say? 46%. Again, 18-year-olds. A little bit woodier and all the rest of it, but a hint of dark chocolate with a citrus bite before a sustained sweet and delicately dry finish. Yep. I've not been following Tomatin actually for a little while. So I used to buy a lot of stuff on auction, the sort of older stuff from like the 80s and 90s, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm sure I definitely enjoyed this. So yeah, a good one. Go out and buy one, I say. Deanston. Now, Deanston, what can we say? Deanston's one of these distilleries that personally I don't really get on that well with. There's been some absolute gems, some absolute crackers that I've really loved, but then there's these ones, like this is the Muscat finish, 55.2, and it's 19 years old. And do you know what? I think I was a little bit disappointed by this one. I reached for other bottles. Well, I think this one lasted quite a while, which is never a good sign in my house. So yeah, I'm gonna say a no for that one. If you can find a 19-year-old Muscat, there's probably better. But depends on you, depends on your taste buds. Hey, look at that. Those who know, I've seen this before, the Glenlivet instead of Glenlivet. Glenlivet had my video taken down because I was taking the piss out of their capsule collection. Go and check out that video if you've not seen it. And so yeah, I rebranded their bottles to Glenlivet. Another, but you can see that these ones are old. Oh my god, that is not whiskey, surely not. No. Really? No way. See, I don't trust that. I would not leave that amount of whiskey in there. Did I try it? Should I try it? Because like I'm taking this one home. That is whiskey. Oh my god, I can't believe that. I must have been so annoyed with Glenlivet for them getting my video taken down that I left some of their whiskey in. And do you know what? I used to rave about Glenlivet 12. And the main reason because the older ones like this that I used to buy in auction were really good. Compared to, I don't have one in that bag, but compared to the new Glenlivet 12, this proper trumps it. So I always used to buy the old ones in auction and I'd just leave the new Glenlivet 12. In fact, I'd leave all the new Glenlivets because they're all rubbish. But yeah, if you can pick an older one up at auction, then it's quite palatable, especially when you can pick them up for cheap, which I used to. But yeah, 40%, so just an easy drinker. But my god, score! That one's coming home. Auchentoshan, American oak, smooth and vibrant. See, there you go, smooth. Even distilleries use it. I know it's like a swear word for some of you whiskey enthusiasts, but for me, I think it's actually very descriptive. So yeah, the American oak, Auchentoshan. Auchentoshan's a weird one. I do quite like it sometimes, and I used to. There's probably quite a few of these, or there should be, because I know I've bought quite a lot of the American oak. And what's the other one? It changed, didn't it? I used to buy one and then it changed its name. It's all right. I quite like it. It's different, and it's definitely got its own style. And yeah, I need to be in the mood for it, but it's good. I'm just checking all these Glenlivet 12s now, just in case there's anything in them. This one got me onto it. So, when my auntie died, she had a bottle of this, which found its way to me, and I had a little bit sort of left in it, and I was like, wow, that's really good. So that kind of sent me on the hunt on the auctions to try and get one, but I don't think I ever found one. Well, this isn't that old, I don't suppose. This is 2012, so there you go. Again, hurt my ear. What we got here? The Boutique Whisky Company. This is a Glencadam at 6-year-old, 47.5%. Apart from it being a 50cl, boo. This was really nice. Quite different. You don't get Glencadam too often this young, and at 47.5. I think Glencadam's most of the time it's 46, and obviously I think you do get them in cask strength versions and stuff. Yeah, you do, because I've had one. But yeah, Glencadam. Normally everything that comes out of Glencadam, pretty good. This was probably very expensive for the age and all the rest of it, so would I buy it again? Probably not. Little bag done. Oh, now we're getting onto the big bags. Oh dear. Straight away I've got an interesting one. Edradour. So, age 10-year-old, 2011 to 2021. This is a 46. Is this? This is a signatory. So, obviously, signatory is an independent bottler, but they also own Edradour. So, yeah, you can get some quite good ones coming through the signatory kind of brand. Personally, I think I prefer buying like the actual proper Edradour ones from the distillery rather than the signatory, because yeah, they're maybe not. I don't know. I've had a couple that I'm like, yeah, I think I'd probably prefer that if it was just right from the distillery. But yeah, Edradour. If you like a dirty dram, you like those kind of licoricey, earthy, funky notes, then Edradour is for you. And boy, can they do a sherry cask. Does this actually say what it was? I'm presuming it was a sherry cask, because you know they're well renowned for it, but it doesn't actually say. But yeah, a little bit in the bottom there. Oh yeah, this is good. Enjoying this video. Yeah. Funky ice cream. If you've not had an Edradour yet, go out and buy one. Excellent stuff. Got weight in the bag, starting to blow around. Okay, here is an interesting one, an interesting distillery, Blair. This is a 12-year-old. I should have the full collection in here. I've had all the core range. This is 46%. So they're doing stuff right? They're putting it out the way it should get put out. My only thing with Blair is I don't know. It's been a while since I had one, but it's not exactly like what I class an easy drinker, but it's not exactly what I'd also class as like particularly complex dram. It's slightly rough around the edges, which sometimes I like, but sometimes with Blair it's kind of like, no, it's rough around the edges in the wrong way. But I do like Blair, and it's an interesting one. And if you've not tried one, then go out and try it. And they've got quite cool bottles. Old Pulteney 12. Man, I did some old videos on Old Pulteney 12 where I tried to compare the old one with the new one, because this was like my staple. Before I was really into whiskey, the Old Pulteney 12 was like my go-to in the supermarket. So I knew it well, and then it definitely changed. It definitely got more orangey and less kind of salty, briny. And yeah, so I did a comparison, and I managed to pick them out, but it was pretty close actually. So maybe it's not changed that much. Maybe just my taste buds have. But yeah, Old Pulteney 12, you can pick it up anywhere. You've probably already tried it, so yeah, do what you like really. It's just a standard dram. Boy, you see that? There's a glass coming out to get me. Okay, another interesting one. Glen Scotia. I've had an interesting relationship with Glen Scotia because I've not really liked it up until now. This one was good. The Camtour Harbour was good for 40%. It was in the supermarket. It was cheap, and I actually really enjoyed this one. And I've enjoyed some since, but I've had some very sort of, or more expensive kind of cask strength, or like, you know, big, bold kind of Glen Scotias, and I've not enjoyed them. So Glen Scotia for me is like quite often a hit or miss. I did try 3 samples of Glen Scotia that probably will never see the light of day as they currently are. But wow, amazing whiskey. So they can do some really great stuff there. And next time I'm over that way, I'm definitely going to pop into the distillery. Glen Keith Distillery Edition. Bish. Used to buy a lot of this. I used to buy a lot of Old Perth, especially this one, the red wine finish. Red wine finishes for me can be kind of hit or miss. This one is definitely an acquired taste because it is very rough. But it's like I felt like this was like rough in a good way. Quite often I did need to put water in this, but you know, it is at 62.3%. I don't know if they do this one anymore. I've not seen it for ages. The number 2 limited edition, so maybe they don't do it anymore. But you know, apparently the bottlers are like just along the road, so maybe I'll go chat and say, hey, do you still do this? Because yeah, I'd buy another one of these because it was well cheap. Here we go. Blair 18. I told you I had all of them in here. In fact, yeah, I do. I'm gonna go through all the Blairs. So the 18, yeah, I think this might have been the nicest out of all of them. But let me go through the bottles and we'll see. Again, 46%. That's the 12. I've already done that one. Done 2 12s. Oh, this is it. This is it. And this is why I love Blair. I know what I said about, you know, the 12 and like the core range being a bit sort of hit or miss for people, maybe a bit rough around the edges for folk, but this hand bottling, you see my, don't steal my signature, cask year 2008, cask number 714, filled in 2019, bottle number 93. this was such a good whiskey. I really miss it. I remember when I opened this and I was just like blown away. It was so good. I was like, you know, when like you have a whiskey and you're like, this is the best whiskey I've ever tasted. It was one of those moments, and I know we all have those moments all the time. But I mean, it's literally so close. I mean, it's right up there with the best whiskies I've ever had. So I need to remember that, actually, because I do forget about Blair, and people always ask me like what my favourite whiskey is, or like what was your favourite whiskey of all time. This is definitely one of them. Such an amazing bottling, and I think I might know somebody that's got one. Will they give me any of it though? I don't know. This was a Highland Whisky Festival exclusive from Blair. I remember this one as well, 56.7. It was lovely. It wasn't as good as that one. This was cask year 1997, cask number 1109, and filled in 2019. Bottle number 62, of course, 62. That's where I used to live, number 62. Yeah, this was good, but expensive. Blair 15. 46%, just like the others. Now that I've looked at them all, 12, 15, 18, and those exclusives. There's another one, by the way. Highland Whisky Festival exclusive. Crack and Dram. Yeah, I've got 2 of them. I've got 2 of them. Yeah, got 2 of them. Must have been feeling flush. And there's another 15, so I've got 2 15s as well. I wonder if I bought another 15 because the 15 was the standout of the core range for me. Yeah, the 18 was probably, like I said, like as soon as I get up to 18, unless it's like, you know, old style Glendronach, I'm not that interested. I prefer them around 13-year-old is like the sort of sweet spot for me most of the time. So I think if you're going to go for a Blair core range, yeah, check out the 15. This is like a good bag. It's like the Edradour, Blair kind of, yeah. Alright, so the standard Edradour 10. I say standard, it's probably the best 10 you are likely to get your hands on. It's only 40%, but boy oh boy, does it punch above its weight. It's so good. I love this whiskey. Do you know what? I remember trying this first when I used to stay up that neck of the woods. I didn't like it because I was on the beginning of my kind of whiskey journey, and this punches, like I say, well above its 40% ABV, and yeah, it's like so flavour packed. But if you don't like that kind of style, of that kind of earthy, licorice kind of funkiness, you won't get on with this. But if you can develop that love for that in your palate, then boy oh boy, you're in for a treat. I really want to go and buy an Edradour 10. And another one. Ooh, but the only thing that might knock the 10 off the top spot there is this, the Caledonia 12. I really like this one. I have bought quite a few bottles of this. Sometimes it's a little bit expensive in places, but you can pick it up for fairly cheap. 46%, so obviously 6% above that. It's kind of like the next step up from the Edradour 10. Slightly deeper flavours and all the rest of it. So if you like the 10, you're going to love that. Oh boy, oh wow. Oh, I was just saying I'd really like to taste this again. So I just did this one a few bottles ago, the red wine finish, and look at that. It's almost a dram in there. Might have a fly in it, but who cares at this stage, right? Ooh, I don't know, like it's a bit yeah, it's got bits of cork and like fustiness around the cork, and it's actually dirty, the cork. Don't know how it's dirty, but right. All that aside, I'm doing this for you guys, just so that I can no, shouldn't have drunk that. That's not whiskey. Don't know what that is. I'm thinking that's rainwater. Nice. Ah, the risks you take, I suppose, eh? Again, another Caledonia 12. Excellent dram. Oh, look at these lovely bottles. It's almost a shame to like stick these in, but you know, what you're going to do with them? Yeah, you can do the whole lighty thing with them. What are these again? The Hibisco bottles, right? With the big chunky corks. I love these bottles, and I love this whiskey. This is probably one of, again, if people ask me what my favourite whiskey is, it's probably this. So I've got a couple in here. I might have actually kept one of these because it was the... Oh yeah, this was so weird. So check it out. So this was cask number 145, and this was also cask number 145. So I bought one of these years and years ago. So what was this? So distilled 05, bottled 18. So I probably bought one of these when it came out in 2018, and then I think about when was it? I think I did a video on it, so it was probably around, I think it was about pandemic time, so 2021, 2022 maybe. I found another one on auction and I bought it, and I didn't know at the time, but when it arrived it was from the same cask. Crazy, like bought them so many years ago, and there's like only 532 bottles of this, and like, you know, maybe 4 years had passed and I bought the same cask number. Mental. But yeah, there you go. I'm gonna place these ones in just in case like they survive and they're like unearthed years from now by the aliens. They're so heavy, those bottles, you drop them in and it just crushes everything. Alright, interesting bag. Benromach contrasts peat smoke. So it's saying the phenol level is 42 ppm. Distilled 2009, bottled 2020, 46%. I love Benromach. It is just a cracking dram. Again though, it's like it's on the kind of side of like Edradours. It's a little bit funky. Wouldn't recommend it to a beginner unless, well, they maybe particularly like that stuff. But yeah, if they're just kind of getting into whiskey and they don't really like it that much, Benromach's probably not for them. But I love it. The peat smoke one, honestly, I don't really remember it, so I'll probably need to revisit it and find out. That was a big bag. Oh, kind of scared now, like if I find any more that have like got whiskey in them, that it's maybe not whiskey. Don't know what that was, but yeah, not that great anyway. The old Balvenie Caribbean cask, 14-year-old, 43%, and someone stuck in my leg. So yeah, Balvenie Caribbean cask. It's actually one of the rum casks that I've enjoyed. Like all the rum casks that we've been through already, as I've said, kind of hit or miss for me. But I do quite like this one. I wouldn't rush out and like buy it, but like if you are a fan of rum and rum cask finished whiskey, then this is a pretty decent one. But yeah, for me, like I wouldn't run out and buy it, but I wouldn't mind it being back in my collection again, put it that way. Aberlour 12, I think we did an Aberlour already, but yeah, so the 40%, again, always the same with Aberlour, it's decent. One of the old favourites, like everybody should have this on their dram shelf, right? The Glenlivet 14. I remember getting this. I've not bought too many bottles of this. I remember getting it at Christmas time because I wanted to have like I can't remember what it is, but there's like 7 drams or something. Tell me in the comments. People will probably know, but there's like 7 or 8 drams from like all across the regions that you're meant to have, and this is one of them. So I got it, and do you know what? I didn't really like it at first, but it really grew on me, this one. 46%, age 14, and I tell you why I didn't like it. It's because it's got quite a soapy characteristic to it, and I really don't like the soapy taste. But with this one, it's not as strong as you get with Jura, the soapy taste, and there's more complexity to it. So I actually really enjoyed this. Ben Bracken. Man, it brings up so many memories and like of old videos and stuff as well. So this was like, at the time, 23-year-old, this was like a Lidl special, 40%, and they were selling this for like, I don't know, £3.50. I mean £3.50, not 350. Nah, I jest. It was really cheap though. I think it was like 30 quid or under 30 quid for a 23-year-old, which was mental. I actually liked it. It was like, there wasn't anything to write home about. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is the best old whiskey ever. But you know it's not going to be from Lidl's. It was just, at that point, I'd never really had any really old whiskey. And yeah, it's decent. Bring it back, Lidl's, bring it back. And I can't believe what I've just unearthed. The Alta Vane. What awful whiskey it was. Just enough peat to start a fire. Actually, you'd be better just pouring this on some logs and starting the fire, because it's all it's good for. I actually saw somebody, I think maybe in Australia on my Facebook, that was just drinking this, and I don't think they'd actually said anything about it. They just like had it in a picture while they were like watching a movie or whatever. And I just really wanted to type in, go, that's rubbish. But you know, let's not spread the hate, people. Let's give them a chance. I've not tried it for a while either, but yeah, not good. Actually, it was really expensive as well for what it was. It's like 40%. It was so thin, so tasteless. 35 quid, I think it was. I was like, hey, what the hell is this? Irish whiskey? Surely not. I'll tell you what though, this was really good. I'm not a massive fan of Irish whiskey, I have to say. I'll be honest about that. This is 40% distilled in copper pots. But you know, out of all the Irish whiskey that I've had, this is probably one of the better ones. So, and it's got a pretty weird, funky bottle as well. But I'm not keeping it. Oh, we're getting into some. This is a bit of a mixed bag, this one. Oh wait. So, black bottle, age 10. I'll probably go for this again, depending on the price, because the black bottle. Is this it? Tis it. So the standard one that you get in pretty much all supermarkets, the blended one. Well, this is blended as well, but it's 10 years old. This is now too sweet for me. It's changed over the years, and it's now like a cocktail. But the 10-year-old is much more like what that one used to be. So yeah, less cocktaily and more whiskey-y. Here we go again. So I bought this because everybody's like, Redbreast, the best Irish whiskey ever. And I bought it and I was like, do you know what? It's not. I prefer the Sexton. But somebody actually said to me that the cask strength Redbreast is what I should have bought, and not the 40% kind of slight rubbish that this is. Aberfeldy. Much like Aberlour, in fact I think it was Aberfeldy that I said 6 ball hairs away from being good, because it's always at 40%, but it's really nice whiskey, and yeah, you should definitely try it if you've not tried it. Quite an interesting bottle. I don't think they still look like that, but yeah, I've not had so much of this recently. I did buy more. Yeah, but I think that's the. See, there's a wee bit in there. I'm going for it. It might be dishwater, but who knows? No, it's not. Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, I'd get another one of them. Got me stumped. Strathisla 12. This must have been a long time ago. 40%. Speyside. I don't know. First one that I've not actually remembered. Whether I liked it or not. Yeah, couldn't tell you. Oh, we're getting into some newer whiskey. So Lindores, this was a sherry cask. This was only one of 605 bottles. It was quite a young whiskey, so it's only 3 years old at 61.4%. Yes, so Lindores is an interesting one. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy this, I'm sure I did, but for me, I've got other ones in here that I'll probably talk about where I think the Lindores spirit lies better, in for my palate anyway. The sherry, because this is quite a young whiskey as well, you know, maybe I kind of feel like Lindores new make might be a bit like Glendronach. It probably gets better with age, so leave it in for like 18 years and then have one of these. Probably really good. But yeah, at 3 years, I didn't think it quite melded. It's a special bottling of Lindores for Roy. Again, it's just actual aquavitae. But yeah, if you've not tried this, actual aquavitae, it's pretty good. Kind of feel like if you've got a funny tummy, or you know, maybe you have one of these to start the evening just to like settle your stomach. It's definitely an acquired taste. I can't drink too much of it, but I can drink it and I do enjoy it. Is this the one? No, this is a real mix. So it was in bourbon, sherry, and a wine barrique. 46% that one. So it wasn't a special. Well, it probably is a kind of special edition that they did, but not a cask strength one. I'm gonna say that was. I think I remember this one now. It was just too mixed up. Nothing properly melded in this. There was just like layers of like weird flavour that were just like too distinct and not, you know, fully compatible, as it were. So yeah, it's a no for that one. This I think might be the one. Is it? So this is a bourbon at 49.4%, and this for me is like really where the Lindores whiskey shines right now. Just good old-fashioned bourbon casks. I've really enjoyed the sort of bourbon only stuff from Lindores. Definitely my favourite. Yep, you can see it's my favourite because there's another one. How about two of them because they were good. Tam Du. 58.3. I didn't buy this. I think Russell bought this, and we smashed it in one night because it was just that kind of whiskey. It was just really. It didn't drink like 58.3, and yeah, it went down a treat. Batch number 003, and I'm not going to say that was like the best sherry bomb ever. I'm pretty sure the batches of Glendronach beat the batches of Tam Du, but yeah, it was definitely nice. But you know, the only thing with Tam Du, right, is just I don't know if they're trying to do the whole like Macallan thing or whatever, but I just feel like they're a little bit overpriced. You got like the kind of try to do the fancy bottle and everything, just like I don't know. For me, strip it back and focus on the whiskey, and yeah, less on the expensive marketing shit like that. I don't know. This doesn't quite hit the spot for me with Tam Du. He says pulling out another Tam Du. 12. I remember this one as well. This was one of the ones where I was like, I felt like I was kind of searching for a Glendronach 12 beater. I remember opening this and going, that's it, found it. This is the Glendronach 12 beater. But I know people don't believe in the neck pour, but believe me, the neck pour is real. And when I went back to this and had my second dram, I was like, no, not a Glendronach beer, but still good. But yeah, I probably bought this on a deal because I wouldn't have thought I would pay the sort of full price for this because I've always thought it was expensive. Jeez, that was going to come back on me there. Tiny bottle of Glencadam, always a pleasure. Another Balvenie. Again, like Balvenie's one that I don't normally get on that well with in terms of, like, I don't really like the double wood. I think there's a double wood 12 and this is the 17, 43%. But I actually like this one. But again, Balvenie is not my favourite. It wouldn't be my go-to. I'd spend my money elsewhere. But yeah, not bad. Now I'm scared about this. Like, this could be anything, right? Did I smell it? Did I actually take a drink of this? Because I'm worried it's like bog water. It does smell like whiskey. Yeah, I already tasted it, didn't I? Yeah, I'm just drinking whiskey for the sake of it now. Another interesting bag coming up. The talked about Arran 14. Pretty rare to get your hands on one of these, but they did bring out another edition fairly recently. I think I saw one in the shop and I was like, the particular shop I was in, it was rather expensive, so I didn't buy it. But I would heartily recommend this. It's a very, very nice dram. Here we are. Arran, 13-year-old, distillery exclusive, 2020. It was great. It was like, well, it wasn't great. The pandemic was horrible. But one of the great things about the pandemic was, like, all the distilleries started doing their distillery exclusives online, so I could get them shipped to my door. I don't know if you still can do that, but yeah, I might take a look at that later on. So this was a sherry hoggy, distilled on 06, bottled on 2020, bottle number 110 of 299, 53.1%, a 13-year-old. Yeah, what can you say, man? It's Arran, it's been sherried, it's 13-year-old. It's just got that lovely kind of sweet sherry funkiness that you would expect from an Arran. And I don't think I've ever had a bad distillery exclusive from Arran, unless that rum one was a distillery exclusive, wasn't it? But I don't think I bought that one. The old Arran 10. The old Arran 10, because I think the ones that we saw before didn't quite look like this. They looked, yeah. I don't have one, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll go back on the video. But this Arran 10, this is the older one, and the even older one. Don't know when from. What have we got? And it's got a black mark on it, but I don't see a date. I'm pretty sure these were like, I don't know, 90s or noughties, who knows. 46% still though, and I think, I don't know, I'd really love to do a comparison of like this one, the one that I said was the older version, and then the newer one. I think this was my favourite out of all of them, and I bought loads of them. And there's the coat roti again. Ooh, love it. Yep, there's another one of those Arran 10s. There's another Bothy quarter cask, but this is batch 4, 53.8%. Honestly, they never really disappoint. Got a tiny bit in it. Ooh, the tiniest of tiniest bit, but wow, so floral and so sherbety. Wow. Yeah, that must have been a good one. Distillery exclusive, 2020, 11 years old, 60.4%. Woo! Moscatel cask, 2008/273, distilled on 08, bottled on 2020. Yeah, Moscatel cask. Honestly, don't remember that one, but I'm sure it was good. I could tell you. Oh yeah, yeah, that's good. Whew. Again, so sweet. Yeah, if you can find one of them, definitely go and get one. Well, this is a good one. The License to Kill, Arran 12, James McTaggart Special Edition. And the reason this was a good one is it's 100% finished in Palo Cortado sherry casks. And like, yeah, Palo Cortado for me is probably like the one. That's the Deanston that I really liked. I just loved it, but I could only get like a little taster of it. They didn't have any big bottles left. 51.8%. They had quite a lot of these, quite a big batch of these. So you might still find them kicking about, maybe on auction or wherever. But if you've got one, drink it. It's really good. Again, another coat roti. I mean, like literally, I could have had like 20 bottles of this in these bags. Macri Moor, cask strength Macri Moor, this one. Peatedar malt, 56.2. Macri Moor for me, I think this came in like one of those horrible silver or metal ones. It's a tough one, Macri Moor. I kind of like it and I kind of don't. I think I got to really be in the mood for it. So yeah, is this another one? Yeah, so this is a Macri Moor, Fingal's Cut, again 54.4%, heavily peated sherry cask. I can't remember if this one was sherry cask. I don't think it is. I think Macri Moor's bourbon for the most part, so this is the sherry cask one. Yeah, definitely give them a go, and pretty good value I think for the most part. But you do get I think you do get like a 40%er, or you get a blended one, so watch out for that, because I think the cask strength are probably a better buy. Highland Park 12, don't waste your time. Man, the amount of marketing those guys do and the amount of distillery exclusives they churned out. I think maybe they were like ahead of the game with it. They were like churning them out before everybody else was kind of like cottoned onto it. And yeah, maybe there's like a load of collectors of Highland Park, but it's never ever hit the spot for me. I've just been like, the 12 is just always missed, and it's never made me want to like explore more. Again, another cider cask project. Wouldn't waste my time with that one, I don't think either. It was like, smelled of cider but didn't really taste of it. So this is the one I was talking about earlier with the Singleton 12. I think I did a video on it where I compared both of them. I actually prefer this. It's like got more floral notes, and it's just I just found it a nicer, easier, kind of actually more complex kind of dram. So yeah, non-age statement wins the day. Oh no, it is Loch Lomond, the original. Don't waste your time. Here we go. Tomatin. Old style. This is definitely like a screw cap. Definitely like a 90s bottling, I think. Oh, it's almost got a date on it there. I can't read that. But yeah, interesting. I liked getting the old bottles from the 80s and the 90s, and Tomatin was one that I definitely enjoyed. Glen Scotia 11, cask strength 54.1, combination of Oloroso and P8 sherry cask. I bet that's lovely, but I think at the time I wasn't quite appreciating it. Bit of a mixed bag. This Blair Athol, 48%. Lovely dram. I remember this one. It was light, floral, sweet, lovely balance. 48%, and yeah, it was expensive, but I didn't buy it. It was a gift, so nice. Oh, real mixed bag, Springbank 10. I've had a really, I did a video on this, I had a really weird experience with it. So like when I first bought this and I first opened it and drank it, and I was just like, oh, it's good, but all I was getting was the sneezes. I was just completely allergic to Springbank. No, all I was getting was the sweetness and the sort of variant sweet flavours. I was just like, oh, this is amazing, it's amazing. And I took it out to the garden and I was going to make a video on it, and then I started tasting it. I was just like, this is a different whiskey. This is not the whiskey that I remember, because there was like so much more there. There was like this kind of funk and earth and yeah, just something that I hadn't really experienced. And I don't know why that was. Maybe my palate was just in a certain way, or maybe the first few drams I had, I was just passing it quickly over my tongue and not you know, moving it from left to right or whatever. But yeah, just like, what an experience. Like, I thought somebody had changed the whiskey, it was so different. But maybe it was just like it had a bit of air as well. But cracking dram, of course. Everybody's trying to get it. If you can get one of these, well done. Whiskey Broker. If you guys haven't heard of Whiskey Broker, really good whiskey at a really competitive price, and I don't think I've ever had a bad one. This was an interesting one. This was a grain whiskey, distilled at Girvan Distillery, 14 years old, 59.1. It was a bit of an acquired taste. I couldn't have too many of these because, for like, grain whiskey reminds me of bourbon a little bit, and it's very sweet, and it's just got that kind of one-dimensional sweetness, and I get a little bit bored with it. So I couldn't have too many of these, but it was nice. Don't be afraid of the single grains. Obviously single malt is a single grain as well, but it's malted barley, and I don't know if single grain is necessarily, it could be barley, I guess, or maybe it's not malted, but I guess it could be like loads of other grains, right? So like, I wish they'd put that kind of stuff on there. Yeah, guys, you cashed out nice. You cashed out nice with that one. It was a disappointment. Definitely better blends out there. Kind of just like felt like they could have done something really good with this. Like they could have just, like, they made a kick-ass TV show, and they could have just made a kick-ass blended whiskey as well, but they didn't. Back in the day when you could buy Springbank, like I could go online and I could find Springbank. Not only could I find Springbank, I could find affordable Springbank, 12-year-old cask strength stuff. Like, these are like hen's teeth now. And this one, which one was this one again? 56.2. I can't remember. One of them was that I had was bourbon and sherry, and one of them was just bourbon. And I definitely preferred the bourbon and sherry. I added that little bit of sweetness that the bourbon kind of lacked, I suppose. But the bourbon was nice as well. But yeah, I'm a bit of a sherry head anyway, so. Bowmore 12, or Bormore 12, as some people might say. But for me, actually, this has been a really good staple for me. It's like, it's nicely balanced, I always find. It's got that little bit of kind of peatiness or barrel char right in the background, and yeah, just as a sort of easy drinker that you don't need to think about, I actually like this one, so I would buy Bowmore 12 again. Pundaren, with the most annoying bottle ever, perhaps. I really don't like the bottle. It's too tall, it doesn't get in your whiskey. You know, you've got to have it like separated on a weird shelf for the freaks, the whiskey bottle freaks. But yeah, this was one of the first whiskies that I ever tasted banana in, so definitely recommend it. Okay, so infrequent flyers. I don't actually like infrequent flyers as a independent bottler. I think they're like way too expensive, and I have had some hit or miss bottlings. Linkwood Distillery, Age 9. I think this was one of them. I was really looking forward to this. At least they were doing like things right. 70 CL, 59.6. Damn, maybe. It sounds like something I should like. But yeah, I just remember infrequent flyers being one of these indie bottlers that I was just like, yeah, not quite for me. How does one pronounce this? So you kind of want to say Chananich, at 43%, aged 10 years. This is one of the ones that you're meant to have on your shelf, right? So yeah, go out and get one. It's the original. We've talked about all the other ones, and maybe we've already talked about this one as well. I kind of like this, it's alright, but I would much rather have the red wine cask or the Bordeaux. Old Particular, Douglas Lang again, electric, age 12. Now, 48.4%. Where did I get this? But I mean, pretty much everything that comes out of electric is good, for me anyway. I did have one that Russell bought me. It was a 13-year-old, which lasted for, I don't know if it's in here actually, it might be, but it lasted me for donkeys because it tasted like gym socks. It was like there was a note of dirty washing basket, which was interesting, and it did have some other flavour profiles which were like nicer, but that one kind of, like, it put me off reaching for that one. I needed my big boy pants with that. But yeah, I enjoyed this. Electric's good. Infrequent flyers again. Loch Lomond. I didn't buy this. Russell bought it for me because he's trying to convince me that Loch Lomond's good, and I disagree. I think Loch Lomond's rubbish. But actually, this was good. The pot still bottling. This was awesome. It was the first and only time I've been in the pot still in Glasgow, and they had a Blair Athol 10-year-old that you could buy by the bottle. There was only 239 bottles. I just happened to be there. I don't know if it was like the first or the second day that they were selling them. 58.5%, but yeah, the pot still birthday bottling. If you've got this is a cracking dram, and please invite me around. I will share it with you. Very, very good. Getting into some older ones. Like, this is a long time since I had this. A Glenglassaugh Evolution, 50%. Yeah, I like Glenglassaugh. You know, it's like not everybody's. Doesn't seem to be everybody's cup of tea for some reason. But I think they're doing some good things, and I think more and more that comes out of there is probably going to be really good. Yeah, I should go back and like revisit Glenglassaugh. It's been so long. What's this teeny bottle? Oh, another Blair Athol. Blair Athol 12. Literally, I don't think I've had a bad Blair Athol. Yeah, I've had ones that have like disappointed in comparison to some of the others. I've never had a bad Blair Athol. So if you see a Blair Athol, you know, go out and buy it. And it's like the quintessential bourbon kind of cask. It's that and Glencadam. They're like the bourbon bombs. So if you want to go get back to your roots and do the whole bourbon thing, that's what you should get. This is the other Springbank, 12 cask strength. So I can't remember which one this was. I forget, there's nothing left. 54.2 this one. So one of them, like I said, was bourbon, and one of them was bourbon and sherry mix. But both good. But good luck trying to find one. Another bag bites the dust. Signatory. What is this? 13-year-old Linkwood, matured in bourbon barrels, distilled 2009, bottled 2022. 46%. What did I think? I'm trying to remember if this was one of the ones that I took to Sarah's graduation ball. I don't think it was. I think I took cask strength stuff. But yeah, Linkwood's always an interesting one. I always buy a Linkwood if it's cheap enough and I'm in the mood. But yeah, you'll probably never see this one again. A Linkwood's interesting. Go check it out. James Eady, an indie bottler that I can definitely get behind. This is one of the ones that I took to Sarah's graduation ball thing, the law ball, and 58.2%, 13-year-old Blair Athol. Oh, nailed it, right? I mean, how could I not have bought that? And I did, drank it, and I very much enjoyed it. And I really like what James Eady does. Probably one of my favourite indie bottlers. Glen Scotia, this is the bottom of the range, Campbelltown Harbour. It's good. Singleton, seen it, done it. Compass Box, a little bit overpriced for blends, but what they do it really well. So if you're looking for like the sort of high-end blends, then Compass Box definitely do them. 46%. Yeah, really nice. I enjoyed that. Is a little bit expensive though. Again, James Eady, 10-year-old Blair Athol, 46%. And look at that, $38.99, which isn't too bad for Blair Athol. You know, Blair Athol tends to be on the expensive side, so a bagging. I think I did a video on this, and I said, the Glenlivet, Captain's Reserve. Where's all the taste gone? Yeah. Rubbish. Ow. God damn you, Glenlivet. Popping my eardrum. Tomat, cask strength, bourbon and sherry cask. Thumbs up. Thumbs down. I think we've done this one already. Aberlour 10, 40%. Again, please just make it 46 at some point. Be nice, that's all I'm saying. Boo! Soapy mouthwash. That's what you like? Go for it. Again, another American oak. Gotta be in the mood for it, but it's good. This was another, I thought, potentially Glendronach 12 Peter, and I thought it might have been, but yeah, not quite. But yeah, Mortlach, it's got like a real different kind of flavour profile going on. I think it's much funkier. 43.4% this one, age 12. Interesting bottle, really cool actually, and you can stack a load of them on the shelf. But yeah, probably on the expensive side. Wow, that was a quick bag. 3 bags to go. That means we've done 10 bags. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying this 2-hour recycled marathon. It's been fun for me. It's actually bringing up loads of memories. Macmira. This is the Macmira Gronte Swedish single malt. 46.1. I don't know why they put in the 0.1 there. It's that weird one, just to be slightly different, because let's face it, they are slightly different. They don't conform. They always like to experiment and do all that kind of stuff. I think that this bottle was sent to me for free by them, and I very much enjoyed it. And I'm not just saying that because it was free. Yep, I'd definitely buy Macmira again. Although, saying that, I am just such a massive Scotch fan, I never kind of get around to buying these other whiskies from across the world. It's just, why would you when I've got all these malts, the Scottish malts on my doorstep? Macmira Brook Whisky, pretty sure 41.4%. I think I got this one for free as well. It's nice as well. And I think I made a video about potatoes with this in my garden. Random. Deanston 15, Marsala finish, 55.2. There was one of these, I'm sure, I've got some other Deanstons, and one of them was really good. I think it was this one, because yeah, the last one I had was a 19, and I didn't like it, did I? Again, it's probably just down to my taste, you know. It's like I prefer the sort of 13-year-old point with whiskey. So Yeah, 15-year-old was good. I like this one. Another signatory. It is a Glen Elgin, 46%, 21 years old. Oh, I remember this one. It wasn't that great, but it was so cheap. Like, I reckon they were just like, we know this isn't a great whiskey, but let's do it. We'll get it out there for cheap, and it probably did their brand no harms at all, because it wasn't like awful whiskey, but it wasn't the best. But it was just nice to have like a 21-year-old that didn't cost the earth. So yeah, look out for signatory old stuff that might be relatively cheap. Deanston 18, one of Sarah's favourites, 46.3. This was one of the standouts for her at the Whisky Festival along in Fife. It's alright. It's not really a standout for me. There's something about Deanston Spirit or whatever it is I don't quite get on with. I need to like maybe delve a bit deeper and visit the distillery again. I have been, and I did get a lot of different samples, and some of them were nice, some of them I didn't really like. So yeah, Deanston's a bit hit or miss for me. Wow, the amazing Glencadam 13. What can we say? This is batch 2. I don't know what they're on now. Is it batch 3? But yeah, 46%. It's Glencadam. It's awesome. Again, another auction find. The Tweedale, 14 years old, blended, 46. It was really nice actually. Good blend. I'd get that again. This is a weird bottle. What's this? Ballantine's 12, Special Reserve, 40%. I'm going to suspect that was not great, because it's not stuck in my head as like one that I would go, ooh, like a little cheap sipper. Yeah, probably not. Glencadam 10, awesome. The Tullybarden, this is the Sauternes finish. Yeah, I didn't like this one. 43%. Solly. Again, this is one of the distilleries I don't really get on with. Sauterne finish, again, very hit or miss for me, mostly miss. So no, this is a no for me. Would not recommend, would not buy. Glencadam 10. Tobermory 12. Yeah, a very sort of delicate light dram, this one. So like if you're expecting something that's going to knock your socks off or whatever, it's not. It's 46.3, but it's quite mild for that, but it is nice, and I would buy this again. I would recommend it. There's a little bit in there. Yes. Yeah. Oh no, that's good. Yeah, I definitely recommend Tobermory. Some good stuff coming out there with Legic, of course, coming out of there as well. There we go. Some more Glengarry. I knew I had some in here. This is the 12-year-old at 48%. Yeah, I like that Glengarry are doing stuff at 48%. Gives you that chance to play around with water a little bit. I just don't know if I really loved the 12. I don't think I did. I think if I was to go out and buy another one, it'd probably be the Founder's Reserve, even though the 12 probably is a better whiskey. But yeah, there you go. Ardmore Legacy. I've got a feeling that was Pants. Blair, 12. Gordon MacPhail. I've got a feeling 43%. I actually think this is one of the ones that was slightly more disappointing. From oh no, of course, no, Blair. Thinking about Blair Athol. Okay, interesting. Blair. Yeah, sorry, another one. I don't remember. Couldn't have been that good if I don't remember it, right? Ah, God, gotta watch your ears with this thing. It's like, aye. back in the very early days of the whisky trials, I got 2 of these on auction for much cheapness, 40% bells from the 80s, and yeah, I gave one away and drank one, and it was actually really nice. I don't know if the winner has drunk it yet. No, he did. He showed me a picture of the open bottle actually. He was taking it to the sort of whiskey meets that you would go to. So yeah, an interesting one. Glenkinchie 12. I see this in bars a lot more now, and 43%. I used to kind of like it, and now I don't. I don't like it. I don't like it. Crabbies, Yardhead, seriously? Talisker, Port Rui. It was kind of expensive and kind of disappointing at 45.8%. Finished in port cask, yeah. I wouldn't get that one again. Talisker Sky, it's one of my staples. I buy it all the time. If you go into a supermarket, it's like a little co-op or whatever, and they've got a limited selection, and you see this at like under £25, buy it. It's a total steal. 45.8, really nice, and it's the best bang for your buck that you're probably likely to get in the small supermarkets. And I've drank so many of them, like this bag's probably full of them. What's this one? Is this the same? It is. It's just got a different label. Is this one of the new labels? This must be one of the new labels. There's a lot of these. You can tell I like Talisker Sky. And it's cheap. I think the cheapest I ever got a Talisker Sky was mispriced. I think I got it for like 19 quid. So yeah, nearly. Old Faithful Talisker 10. What can I say? It's a good dram. I really like it, and I would buy it again. Wouldn't be my first choice in the 10-year-old, but it is one of the better ones at 10-year-old for sure. Old Pulteney 21. This was the one that what's his name with the little whiskey book that got cancelled said was like the best whiskey, and it really isn't. I was really disappointed by this. I wouldn't buy it again, even if I could, and even if I could afford it, I could be bothered. Yeah, waste of time. Old Pulteney 12, done it. Long Row. This is an interesting one. Peated Campbelltown. Do you know what? I was just there in the distillery, and I had one of these, and I quite liked it, but it was definitely the one I liked the least out of the 3 drams that you get on the tour. And it's 46%. I remember buying this thinking, yeah, everybody's going on about it, and I didn't enjoy it. I probably wouldn't buy this again. I think there's definitely better non-age statement peated stuff out there. So that's a no. Old Pulteney 17. The best thing that Old Pulteney have ever put out. If you find a bottle of Old Pulteney 17, probably it's no longer made, but it's still out there, and it's still in the realms of 70 to 80 pounds, I believe, which I think is. I don't think I paid that. I think I've still got a bottle, and I paid like 60 quid or something for it. But yeah, it's really nice. It's just such an elegantly put together kind of dram. Really enjoyed it. Cotswolds, English whiskey, right? Who knew? Yeah, product of England. I really enjoyed it. I'd buy that again, and it was cheap, special on a deal. So, Old Pulteney 12. Anything different about this one? Nope. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. This must have been in the early days before I like knew anything about whiskey or like watched anybody else's videos or anything like that. But yeah, Dalmore 15. Do not waste your time. Again, Highland Park 12. Don't waste your time. There's a little bit left in that, and I didn't even want it. Cool Ela 12 gets a lot of flack. A lot of people like say stuff about it. 43% say that they don't like it or that it's crap or whatever. One of the great things for this is if you're into your own blending or your own infinity bottle, this can be a good base, a good pepper upper, let's say, a good binder of weird whiskies that you've just plopped into your infinity bottle. So yeah, it's definitely got its uses, and actually I quite enjoyed it. Don't bother. Airstone 10. I think Sarah hated this. I kind of thought it was alright, but yeah, it's not good. Anik 12. I had one of these just the other night because I hadn't seen it for a while, and I saw it in a bar in Edinburgh. And yeah, 40%, and it was actually really, really nice. I bought so many of these because it came out, it was so cheap and it was so good. Yeah, went through a lot of these. If I see it again and it's cheap, I'd definitely buy it, but I don't really see it for whatever reason. Again, co-op own fish. Last bag. Yes. We've got the green bottle bag. This is an Ardbeg Corrie Vrecken, 57.1%. There's a lot of talk. People go on about what's your favourite? What's your favourite? Is it Corrie versus what's the other one? That's the one. So people always go on about Corrie Vrecken versus the Oogie, and yeah, I suppose it's only natural to compare them to a certain extent. The Oogie is 54.2. The Corrie Vrecken's 57.1. For me, like initially, I really liked the Corrie Vrecken first of all because it had that. It was just like that initial sort of punch of flavour. So I was just like, oh wow. But actually, as the bottle went down, I really preferred the Oogie. It was much more nutty, and yeah, it just had a bit more depth of flavour as the bottle kind of went down, and it got a bit more airtime. But both are lovely, and if you can get them, get them. The old Ardbeg 10, very nice, not really much more that can be said, rarely on offer, but still a top dram. You know, the only thing about Ardbeg is that it kind of gives me a headache. I get like an Ard head ache. It's weird. It's like one of the only whiskies that kind of does it to me, and I don't need to drink a lot of it, and I'll get a headache. So I don't know if it's something to do with the whiskey or whatever, but yeah, it's such a shame because I really enjoy it. Kelpie, cracking bro. Anoa, enjoyed it too. Another 10. This is the peaty smoky bag. Well, everybody knows I love Kilkerran heavily peated. This is batch 2. Still kind of think like batch 1 was my favourite just because it was something that I hadn't really experienced before, that kind of style. And just I still think about it, and I still think that every time I was taking a sip, I was like eating a toasted marshmallow by the campfire. I was just like, I couldn't get over that flavour profile. And I thought that as it's gone on, it's kind of moved away from that flavour profile a little bit. But yeah, still, like I've had every single batch and they are all good. So if you ever see them, yeah, don't hesitate. And really good value for money. 60.9%, or they're all around 60%. And yeah, they're all around the 40 to 50 pound mark. So even now, I doubt they fetch too much on auction. But yeah, I've not really checked for a while. But yeah, get them bought. That's batch number 1. That's where it all started. Oh, so good, so good. That's batch number 3. Batch number 2 again. Bought a few of them. What's this one? Oh, this is just the Kilkerran 12. Do you know what? A lot of people rave about this, and for me, like the heavily peated's where it's at. For the money, I'd much rather buy the heavily peated, water it down, and like play around with it than muck about with a 46% 12-year-old. It's all right, but if I'm going to Kilkerran to spend money, it's always going to be with heavily peated, and it's not going to be with the 12. Sorry. Heavily peated, that's batch number 5. Whoa, another green bottle. Laphroaig 10, 40%. Good old Laphroaig, love it. Again. This is where it's at. Like, this is such great value. 48% Laphroaig quarter cask. On Amazon, quite often on a deal. And it is just like, it's such a good, like, rounded, kind of easy drinker of Laphroaig. It's a really good introduction to Laphroaig, actually, that one. Yeah, quarter cask. Quarter cask. Yep. Okay, Select. The Laphroaig Select, an interesting one. This, for me, like, has got a much more kind of like raw smoke to it. So if you're a fan of like real kind of raw smoky ones, then this might be the one for you. In terms of like, this is obviously the entry level, the Select, but in terms of like a beginner trying Laphroaig, I'd much rather they tried the quarter cask first before they tried this, because this might put some people off because it is very, very smoky, slightly acrid. I like it though, and it's normally pretty decent value, 20 odd quid, because it's quite often on a deal. Again, Select. Tiny little Ardbeg 10. First off, I hope you enjoyed that mammoth recycled reviews. Potentially a world record. Feel free to get in touch with Guinness and tell them about it. Doubt I'll do another one. Not really my thing. Roy, of course, over at Aquaviti invented them. Well, I hope you liked that, Roy. I hope you watched it. That was 5 years of just kind of randomly keeping bottles. It's nowhere near how many whiskies I've had over the past like 5-6 years, but it got to a point where I was just like, I can't keep any more bottles. And yeah, what a kind of mammoth task, not only collecting them, keeping them over the years, and then destroying them today. I'm trying to remember everything as well, because there was bottles there like from the very beginning of my whiskey journey, but it's surprising how much you can remember. So yeah, hopefully you sort of saw a bit of my kind of whiskey journey there, and you maybe picked up some bottles that you might want to go and try and find. Peace. That's it. Recycled review done. Must have been a good few hundred bottles there.